Naked this morning as well. When I heard this tragic news over the radio yesterday, I was packing my car and I left my normal sport coat back home that has my American flag lapel pin, and I know the Colonel Sam Roberts from Missoula would be chewing me out for not wearing my American flag lapel pin right now after he first pinned one on me 20 plus years ago. But I also want to apologize for, I guess, some rough language here. I know we've got some kids and some family members here, but I guess I just want to tell you how I felt on 9/11, and I'm sure for those of you who are old enough to have been alive some 24 years ago, how many of you are under 24 years old out there right now? Yeah, we've got a few. And some of you probably work in the Capitol. You're probably staffers in the Capitol or for the legislature as well, and they're under 24 years old. Well, 24 years ago, I was a 21-year-old legislative staffer for a U.S. Senator from Montana. And let me tell you how I felt later that day. Pissed off and powerless. Here you are in a capital that looks so much like our beautiful Montana capital. You're in the most powerful city on the earth. And yet, what could you do after your Pentagon was attacked, after your Twin Towers were attacked, after nearly 3,000 lives were taken? You could just sit there in the backyard of a friend's house and stare and do nothing and watch as the black smoke is billowing out of the Pentagon. And you could do nothing. But the men and women that were already in uniform were there responding and rescuing and recovering. 24 years ago, it was much like yesterday morning. We were driving through the Swan Valley on the way down here, and the lake was like glass. You could see a fish go up to the top of the water. You could see the ripple in the middle of the lake from the highway. It was a beautifully perfect morning yesterday as this horrific news was going out over the radio. The morning of 9/11 in Washington, D.C. was a beautifully perfect sunny morning. I had my suit coat over my shoulder. I was slowly walking to the Capitol. You would notice every little detail as you walked across the Capitol that morning. You could see the flowers poking up out of those little black metal gates and fences that they would have in those Capitol row houses. You just noticed every single little detail. It's like the movie Pearl Harbor, if you watch that movie, and what it was like the day Pearl Harbor was attacked. We walk into the Senate offices. Somebody says, it looks like a plane, some small plane just hit the World Trade Center in New York City. It quickly became apparent that it was a terrorist attack. A few minutes later, everybody's scurrying. People started evacuating and abandoning the Capitol. I remember being on the phone with my mom, and I remember watching this little TV screen. I think it was Fox News at the time, these little Capitol TVs. And as I'm on the phone with my mom, that's when the news came across that the Pentagon had just been hit. And I remember telling my mom, they just hit the Pentagon.